G'day all. Hope you're having a good day. Life's treating you well. Just like to send you all a lot of love. Hope you're doing okay. Coping. Very frustrating point in time. I'm going to try and do this as a one take. I've just popped in to see the old cheese, do a welfare check, make sure she's okay. I'm going to use her as the subject of this little chat. Some of you might call it a rant, but it's a chat. A lot of people have told me I'm an angry person. I'm anti-world. A lot of people might mistake that for being passionate. It's a big difference. But anyway, let's go and see how she's doing. Just took some notes as well, a few little points, so I don't lose track. I'm not the best public speaker, but hey, I've been told I'm a good armchair warrior. So I'll just mention a few things. Hello, mate. How are you? What's going on, hey? You happy to see me? How you going, Mum?
Oh, good.
Good. Yeah.
Thanks.
Stop talking to us like that, mate. Hey?
It all goes well
Stop talking to us like that, mate.
with the iPad and with the phone. Thanks so much.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
you're good.
Hey, who's my boy? You happy to see me? Yeah. All right. I'm just using you as a subject, Mum. I'm just having a bit of a talk.
Oh,
I'll show you what I'm going to do.
what will
How you
do?
going?
Good.
Love you.
Good. I love you too.
I'm just
I
going to
love
ask you one thing.
What?
One thing you've always told me.
Yeah, what?
Don't ever lose your voice.
No, I want.
No, me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm here for a reason.
Yeah, what?
Have you not told me that in my life?
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
we'll just
yeah.
leave it at that for now.
Yeah,
And I'll come back and I'll show you this.
yeah.
What are you doing, crazy eyes? You want to come with me for a moment? Hey? I'll be back in about 10 minutes, all right?
Okay,
See how you're going, check up on you.
Yeah.
All right, crazy eyes, let's go. So, my mum, born in Vienna, 1940, middle of the Second World War. She used to have a neighbour next door, used to have jam nights. Noise of the bass and the drums going through the valley. She suffers from PTSD, and that gave her flashbacks of all the bombs dropping, all the memories she had growing up as a child. She told me a story that when the international troops came into Vienna and they had to move cross borders, get out of there to save themselves, like a lot of other people. She told me a story that she got pulled over by the Gestapo, wanting to see her papers. Wanting to see her papers. So they all showed him the papers. My grandmother, my grandfather was there, her sister and her brother. Hey, crazy eyes, where you going? So anyway, showed him the papers. Little did the Gestapo know that underneath the horse and cart, she had a side of a cow. That's how they survived. Drippings, bread, got to eat meat once a week. The Gestapo found that side of a cow underneath the cart. They would have all been pulled out off the cart, shot on the spot. So this was Mum's 81. It's probably 1943, 44, 45, I don't know. But she tells me a lot of stories and I listen. Got to a point where people were starting to have to wear yellow patches. Yellow patches. Bit of a divide starting already. No one noticed it. Everyone went along with it. Didn't think it was going to get any worse. Didn't do a thing. Well, came to a point where a lot of those people, they were put onto trains. Some of them went into concentration camps. There, they were made to work pretty much till they died. Didn't get fed. Slave labour. No one was there sticking up for them. Mum says, the lucky ones. She says, the lucky ones. They went straight on the train to the gas chambers. Why did she say she was the lucky ones? Because they didn't have to suffer. So, what's the problem with Australia right now? It's never been invaded by another country. It's the lucky country. Yeah, the lucky country. The lucky country. So, a lot of people, they've fled their countries. They've fled war, the worst things you could ever imagine. And they've made it here to Australia to start a new life. A lot of you Aussies, you take your life for granted. You've never had to go through this. You've all had to be shipped off, fight someone else's war. Yeah, someone else's war. A lot of people in lockdown, they've gone through all that. They're thinking they've copped a lot worse in their life. Is this all you got? And a lot of people are just sitting around watching it all happen. So, Mum, she worked 5-6 jobs. She clothed me. She fed me. Put me through a private school. Sacrificed everything, paid the mortgage off. And then about 8-9 years of age, she told me, sorry Adrian, if there's anything else you want, you got to get a job. So, that's what I've done. One night, I even remember it, and she reminds me about it. I was sitting down for dinner. I can't remember how old I was. Could have been 6, could have been 7. She put down 2 dinner plates. And I was shocked. I didn't know what was going on. There was always 1 dinner plate. This time there was 2. Mum looks at me, tells me that I looked at her and said, Mum, you're eating tonight. I never noticed that. She never ate with me. That's how much she sacrificed. A lot of people, they're not getting paid right now. How are they paying the mortgages? They're sacrificing everything. So, anyway, the tradies down in Melbourne. I'm standing there for you. I've seen what it's like. I've changed industries 4 or 5 times. Now with the tradies, teachers are joining them. Medical health experts, fireys, police, people that have done numerous tours as soldiers. The list goes on and on and on and on. Can we afford to lose all those professionals? Just have a think. School. I remember a class in religion. Went to a private school. Cost mum an arm and a leg. Single mother. Did all that growing up. We're in religion one day. And I said to one of the brothers, telling us about you should be going to church. And I looked at him and said, church, eh? Well, you're telling us that God, if there is a God, my God's Mother Nature, humanity. I was brought into Catholicism and I don't agree with it at all. So I asked this brother, you're telling me, you want to go back inside, mate? Am I boring you? Come on. So I said to this brother, if God is in you and everyone and everything, if you treat all those things the way you want to be treated in a godly way, what's the point of going to church? I'm as godly as you can get. Come on, in you get. Come and get you in a minute. That brother made me go to the headmaster, tell him exactly what I just said. And I told him. You know what I got out of that? 2 Sunday detentions. And I was made to write down what, can't even say what, but I just wrote down exactly the same thing that I told them probably over 100, 200, 300 times in those detentions. I could start to see the cracks all the way back then. The institutionalisation of children, the programming. One of my other mates at that school just started, I think in year 7. We were walking from class to class. Smart ass teacher stops him, goes, who are you? Told him his name. This teacher looked at him and said, what sort of a disease is that? This is what they're teaching people at school back then. Came to year 10, 3 days before we were finishing. Everyone thought I was going to go on to year 12. So did I. Form master had the whole form sitting there in 2 classrooms. And he asked, who's leaving school? There's probably about 12 people that put their hand up. And I don't even know why, I don't even know how, but something out of this world made me put my hand up. All my mates sitting around me in that class were shocked. And they looked at me and said, what, you're leaving? And I said, I guess I am. Stay for the social life. In an all-boys school, social life, the way they treated you, nah. That was the start. When I started questioning. Trust no one, question everything. So, what's happening in schools now? Look what they're doing to the children. Do you agree with this? What's your moral obligation? You're going to sit there and cop it? Or you're going to go along with it? So, 16, Mum was lucky, I was lucky enough to go to India with Mum. Best thing that's ever happened to me. We are staying in an ashram for a month in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. A lot of you might have known this story. If you know me well enough, I would have told you. Experienced a lot of things, but I'll edit that out for now. But I saw lepers. People with no legs, pushing themselves down the street on a suitcase cart with little suitcase wheels on the bottom of it because they had no legs. The leper just had sacks of skin all over her body, arms, face, legs, everywhere. It's very eye-opening. I used to leave the ashram and go and walk out into the villages, meet people. Couldn't speak English. The mannerisms, the gestures, eye contact, smiles, the laughing. We knew what we were talking about. Silk farmers inviting me into their little straw huts, mud huts. All they had was a pot in the middle of the ground on top of a fire pit. Makeshift bunk beds for them to sleep on dirty ground with all their baskets of leaves and silkworms there. Very eye-opening experience. I'm very glad that happened to me when I was 16. And then I came back to Australia and noticed all the consumerism. What made me notice that? There's two kids running down along the river. They had no clothes. They were playing with a bike tyre, running along, pushing it down the road. See the look of content, happiness. They were having the time of their lives. They had nothing. Really taught me the value of life. And I thank Mum this day for taking me along. So I'm going to move on. While you're all sitting down in lockdown, who do you think provides the entertainment? The movies, the TV shows, the music, the dancing. We do, the arts industry. Singing, dancing, praying, chanting, making, playing music. It's good for the mind, body, soul. Relaxes. It's a form of meditation. Energizes the body, reinvigorates it, along with a healthy diet. So, what's happened now? There's no singing, there's no dancing. Can't even go to the cemetery, visit your dead loved ones without being pulled up by the police, having to explain why you're there. I feel sorry for the people in that industry that haven't had work in all that time, families, mortgages to pay. I've got it much easier. So work this year. I've been tested over 50 times. Been treated like a dartboard. Played the game. Stick within your own department. Limit your movements. You're here to work. So I've played the game. I asked Mum. She's put it on her then. She's told me, don't ever lose your voice, Adrian. You're here for a reason. Why am I speaking up? It's about 3-4 months ago. Come home to do a welfare check on Mum. How you going? She says to me, I can't believe what's happening. They're killing off all the oldies. Where did she get that from? Maybe the media. Fear, the intimidation, the programming. Turned on the TV yesterday. Amy, it's Rhonda and Katut. Like a sunrise. Well, I'll be changing my funds for insurance after seeing that. Yeah. Medical professionals. So, hearing my mum tell me that she's proud of me. Don't lose your voice, you're here for a reason. Means more to me than all the money in the world. Look what's going on. All in the name of health. All in the name of health. I made my decision years ago when I left school. I got a moral obligation to humanity. Spread love, peace, happiness. Yeah, probably don't go around it in the right way, but hey, you've got to do something to shock people, and maybe you might change one or two people's way of thinking, which can lead to changing the world. This world's not about me. It's about the future, humanity. Mum's not going to be here forever. She's already told me. She's not going into a nursing home. I'm going to have to summons all the strength that I can muster. Patience, persistence, perseverance. And cope with that and deal with it. Because that's my moral obligation to my mum. Just like the tradies. I was supposed to be working till February. That stopped as the end of next week. So I'm resigned to the fact I'll never work again. So be it. Bring on the next stage of my life. I've deleted where I went to school, who I've worked for, all the information of my background, just so not to embarrass anyone that's living in this materialistic world. After coming back from India, I decided to go on a quest for spirituality. Do what I can for fellow man. The amount of times I've been told in my life, thank you, Adrian. You were there for me. You did nothing but listen. And didn't give your opinion. You didn't say a thing. You just sat there and listened. And I needed that. And I thank you for it. But when my mum told me they're trying to kill off all the oldies, that's when shit got real. It just showed me how much fear she's living with. Darkness is setting upon us. Are you going to let that happen? I'm not going to let that happen. No one chose. Well, actually we did. We've chosen to be here. One way or another. If you like it or not. Everything has brought us here to this time. You're going to sit around with your feet up, do nothing, keep your mouth shut, when you're morally obliged that when you see things that are not right, speak up, tell someone, help your fellow man. Well, I'm morally obliged to serve and protect my mum for as long as she's here for. She can see what's going on through her upbringing, her experiences. She's telling me about it, and I reassure her about it. But really, enough's enough. You're going to be one of the fucking minions going along with it. The pen is more powerful than the sword. Last time I looked down between my legs, I got balls. Yeah, big ones too. It's going to come to a point where we need the alpha males. And I hope it doesn't get to that. Where are you now? You're going to protect your family? You're going to say, I don't know anything else. This is what I'm paid to do. When you have a moral obligation to humanity, to serve and protect. I do. Constitution. Not a list of things the government's given you. It's a list of things they can't take away from you. First page of my passport. Open it up. It says, the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia, being the representative in Australia for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, requests all those who may concern to allow the bearer, an Australian citizen, to pass freely without let or hindrance, and to afford him or her every assistance and protection of which he or she may stand to need. Good luck getting back into the country, everyone. Your country's got its best interests for, it's looking out for your best interests. Footballers, movie stars, sportsmen, their wives, free to come and go as they please. There's no double standards. Nah, couldn't be happening. Nah, not this in this day and age. Not in this day and age. We were told from the very beginning that this is the biggest clinical trial bestowed on man. Biggest clinical trial. That's what stood out to me. I'm happy to wait 2 years for the research, the numbers, everything come out into the open, if that is the case. I'm not throwing myself down just so I can eat in a restaurant, go watch a live sporting fixture, go to a festival, travel. I'm resigned to the fact that I'll never do any of that again. Hey, there's surf in New South Wales. There's snow in New South Wales. I'm lucky enough to have travelled the world. So what are you going to do? I know what I'm going to do. Spread love, peace, happiness. Make this world a better place for when I'm not around anymore. It's not about me. It's about everyone. We're all going through this together. It's existence. I'm not going to live a life of fear, intimidation, tyranny. No. Drawing a line in the sand. Best thing we can do, sack our government, start all over again. All you tradies. Best thing you can do, silent protest. Front of state parliament, all around Australia. You got chippies, construction workers. They know what's going on. Bring some materials in. Build some gallows. Just build them in front of state parliament. Make sure there's 3 of them. And then just walk away with your silent protest. One for the Premier. One for the Health Minister. And one for the Police Commissioner. To serve and protect. This is your time. You're going to sit down, let it all happen. I don't know what's happening as of next week, but I know I've got to look after this lady. My only family in Australia sacrificed everything for me, and I'm prepared to sacrifice everything for the sake of humanity. So do what you got to do. Watch. Or put your bother boots on.
What was that all about?
Nothing.
What do you mean nothing?
All right, Mum.
Yeah,
Love you.
I love you too.
And I'm
Very
here
much.
to serve and protect you.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, honey.
It's all about you.
Thanks. Thanks, honey. But it's all about you too.
No, it's
you
not.
have your own life,
No.
you know. You have to live your own life.
Yeah. And that's when you're gone. That's when I'll start to live my life.
But it can last a long
Don't say
time.
too much more. I just want to stop this here. Love you lots.
I love you lots too.
So, I usually finish all my posts
Okay, honey.
with it's been emotional, and don't go changing. doubt you'll ever hear me say that again. Because now's the time. But we need to change things. Positively. With love. Compassion. Empathy. Looking out for your fellow man. That's not what's happening in Sydney, in Melbourne. Makes me sick to the stomach. So, have a good day. Been told I don't post things about what's going on in my life because I'll post things when I feel as though they should be posted. I post a lot of things to work everyone up. It's up to you to choose when I'm serious or when I'm not. I say things for a reaction. If I offend people, I'm the first one to apologise. So, you've got it from the heart. What are you going to do? I love you all. Take care of yourselves. It's a tough time for everyone. Everyone's doing what's best for them and their families. But it's not about that. There's a bigger picture. Some people see it. And they're all starting to gather. They're coming together. They've had enough. So you're going to be a minion? Or you're going to be a man? Peace. Over and out.